First of all, I need to apologize because the walls of Jericho are coming down or something. The wind is going crazy in Texas, so you may hear background noise. But hello, crybabies. We literally just reacted to, depending on what day I post this, but we just reacted to the Portal's full album. I got to listen to it for the first time. Everything I expected from Melanie, because she's great, and more. The album, I feel like, I don't even know how, but it surpassed my expectations. I already had huge, hope and thoughts about the album, and it met every single one of those criteria and, blew my expectations out of the water. So I'm still sitting here, in shock after listening to the album. I'm just, I can't believe it was so good. But shout out to Your Name Is on YouTube, Lilypad. She told me that Melanie actually posted the meanings of each individual song on her Instagram story, so that's what we're doing today. Subscribe when you're here, like the video. Thank you for being on this journey with me, with eras and portals and, all the content. Thank you for being here, because you don't have to be, but you choose to be, so I appreciate you for that. But let's see what these meanings of the different songs are, and if my theories were right, because y'all know whenever I do music reactions, I like to try to understand the lyrics and interpret them a certain way. So let's see if I was right about anything. If not, that's fine too. It's my interpretation, but it'd be cool to see how the artist herself, Melanie in this case, meant for the stuff to be. So let's see. Is there a way to pause Instagram stories? Anyways, how do you view this out? Bitch! Hold on. Okay. Death. I usually have titles picked out. Oh, okay, there's a pause. My bad. I'm tripping. I usually have titles picked out early on in the conceptual phase of an album before even writing anything. Cool. This one was a must, and I just wasn't getting it right anytime I tried writing it with other people. One day, I sat in the portal room alone. Portal room in her house? She has her own creative space? Dedicated just for the... That's cool. That's really dedication. Where was I? Portal room alone, started singing melodies. I heard a spirit with a completely different tone than mine repeat a melody, and I had sung out loud in the silence, and it sent a chill down my body. I don't deal with ghosts. I was really scared at first, then continued on. Oh! So just like in Death, how she's saying her friends will be scared of her ghost. That's literally how she felt and what she experienced herself. That's really cool, actually. Reality became the art. I was really scared at first, then continued on using that moment as confirmation from the other side. I laid down the chords after hours of searching through Omnisphere for an instrument that would reverberate. I told y'all, she's Webster's dictionary, because what are these words? Through my soul. I added a simple drum loop in the chorus. Okay, so she's talking about how she produced it with CJ Barron. When I was done writing the song, that same day I played it for my best friend of 22 years who was like my sister. She had just experienced multiple losses in her family. While she was listening on headphones, tears rolled through. The song ended, she looked at me and said, "That's the one." Wow. That's really... that's very special. And I could actually envision the whole moment she's talking about. The fact that a spirit is the one that gave her the idea for Death, and her friend was going through something similar to that. And I said it was a perfect door opener for the entire album. So I really appreciate the song Death for so many different reasons. But next up we have my favorite song from the album, which is Void. This is the first song I fully produced on my own. Also in the portal room, the first thing I put down was the bass guitar top line. It was an exact melody from a voice memo I had recorded a few days prior. The chorus melody and lyric came all at once just from looping the bass line. She was really just in there doing her thing in that little room. I put down a simple programmed drum loop that was later replaced as mixed and with live drums by some program. I remember screaming that chorus while crying. Like a beast, like a priest behind confession walls, I judge myself. No, because that's what I was saying. Void, I don't know. There's just the lyrics in Void, the story, the power in the instrumental. It's such a... If you relate to it, it makes you kind of feel your emotions even more. But then there's a hopeful side to Void, and it makes you want to I don't know, overcome whatever you're dealing with. Void is just a very special song to me. And the fact that she said she was screaming the chorus while crying, just further confirmation. The weight of my anxiety, the weight of my brain, and it perfectly fit the second stage, a void, a dark place where you are left alone with your own thoughts for introspection, so looking within, in order to find the light within yourself. Perfect. Exactly what I thought. Void is everything that, yeah, that's it. See, I was thinking, like, I thought it was just gonna be a moment in the album and story for Crybaby, as she goes through, I don't even know, this new area of K through 12. But Void, just forget the whole story of Crybaby, just Void itself and what it means on a personal level, just amazing. It's such a good song. Next, you have Tunnel Vision. And this is the one where it's like, she's kind of sexy. People only view her as like a sexy being, but she's saying she's more than that. She says, wrote this song while in Hawaii in February 2021 with Kinetics and One Love. We were surrounded by cocky frogs singing to us. The sound, I would hate that. The sound of rain hitting the roof, I would love that. And pure connection. I wanted to make a song to describe the stage of moving through a tunnel of a familiar hymns and imaginary imagery to ease the transition into the other side, while also writing something with multiple meanings that people can relate to in a more earthly way. This song was leaked through a Dropbox hack the same year. Side eye. And it took everything within me not to trash it. I'm glad she didn't. I couldn't rewrite a better tunnel song, so it stayed. Stop doing that shit. Stop leaking her stuff. Fairy Soiree. This song is honestly one of the biggest ones that took me by surprise on the album. There were many days I sat in the portal room wanting to create outside of my own perspective. Perfect! Makes freaking sense, because the song is like nothing. It's literally one of one for Melanie. The song as a whole, even I feel like for Portals itself, it's an outlier, but just Melanie's whole catalog, Fairy Soiree is so different. I asked Jeff Livin to send me as many folders as possible of instrumental tracks created by different producers. After searching through the folders for a while, there was one track labeled Respect Volume 1 by this producer named Hoskins. It was an infectious drum groove over a guitar loop. That's what I was saying. It's like, it makes you want to salsa dance or something, this song. I wrote a song quickly. I kept it dancing to it, being overtaken by fairy energy. It felt like the stage of homecoming, connecting with my soul family, a spirited soiree between me and fae guides. Okay, so it literally is a fairy soiree. Like, that energy and connection she felt while writing the song did really transfer into the, like, danciness of it. I like how it's like painting a picture and letting you understand the music better as you hear her explanations. Light shower. There's a place in the afterlife people understand... What? There is a place in the afterlife people under hypnosis describe as a soul cleansing or a shower of light. This song was so beautiful. It's literally like how this person is like your one form of hope and brightness back into your life. Like she was saying, she was alone on Venus, you know, abused, used and abused by Earth and the sea. And now this light shower is coming through and like giving her, restoring her life basically. A place where gem-colored rays of light shine through each inch of your soul, cleansing your spirit of the trauma it had experienced during your last lifetime. So she believes in like reincarnation. Interesting. Restoring you to your original vibration. I remember reading about this sitting on the roof of my garage. Okay, so this album really is spiritual. Or like, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Roof of my garage, imagining that what it would feel like in the warmth of the sun was hitting me. A few weeks later, I sat in my bathtub with my guitar and stayed up all night writing a love song about this light in order to create layered meaning. This was also the very first song I ever wrote for this album. Oh! That's cool though, that this is... So then the whole story of like death and Crybaby and coming back to life wasn't even the main point. Originally. There wasn't a main point, but the fact that Light Shower was the first song is like just kind of random actually a little bit for where the album ended up going. Next we have Spiderweb. If I were to ever teach a conceptual thematic songwriting class, this song would be a great reference point. Yeah, because literally she talks about a spiderweb like Spiderweb is just so the way once I started to understand what she was talking about, I was like, wait a minute, how the heck did you use spiders and this web of like your outreach on the world as such a metaphor. Like, how did you word it that way? It was just, I was like, wow, I was blown away by her writing. The interconnectedness of all that everyone under hypnosis feels, including myself when I went under, is what I wanted to write about. I wanted to spice it up a bit, so I found an opportunity to add double meaning for earthly resonance. So Spiderweb is also written about social media's chokehold on society, feeding off our highs and lows, curious to see us struggle, no one can leave once they merge. Yeah, we're all stuck on our freaking phones. I wrote this one on my guitar in the portal room, recorded a voice memo of it, and sent it to CJ. He created an incredible instrumental track. So she wrote the song, like made the melody before they even had the instrumental itself. See, I always thought you made the instrumental and then that set the tone of what the song would be. But no, you can have an idea and then make an instrumental to match that idea. That's cool. He created, and even created the perfect drop using his own mouth sounds. Oh, that gave it that extra spidery feel. No, because even Light Shower towards the end, I said it. It felt like there was like, I didn't like the way it sounded. It was like bad ASMR. It would sound like a bug was crawling and like someone was chewing, and lo and behold, that was a transition, which again, I love the transitions on this album, but that specific transition I feel like was just perfect, even if I didn't like necessarily like how it made me feel. But after that, you have Leeches, which is about her friends, like she brought them to the table and now they're like fucking her over basically. People describe a lot of the afterlife to be like a school of sports, projecting into past lifetimes with people they keep incarnating with to put themselves in each other's shoes, showing how they could have best dealt with conflict on Earth for next time. So this is a reflection song. I mean, it makes sense. Because isn't that, in the song she says like, this is what I get, or this is what I deserve, or something like that. These next few songs are about conflict on Earth. I'd like to think we all planned these moments together prior to coming here, triggering each other to evolve. Living in the most vapid and isolating city of Los Angeles, I decided to write Leeches about people who live here for the wrong reasons and how they act around people in the spotlight. I wrote this over a track from that large folder originally, added some extra production stuff, then brought it to CJ. Tugs on the heartstrings and emotional heartstrings. Nice. Yeah, Leeches is what I thought it was going to be. The Battle of the Larynx. And like I said in my reaction to the album too, I feel like Battle of the Larynx is like the same as Leeches, except Battle of the Larynx feels like you have your power back. But she says, this was the last song that was written and added to the album. May of last year, I went to Hawaii in the same house. I wrote Tunnel Vision. CJ came through. Shout out to CJ. He was all over this. CJ came through for the last hurrah of writing sessions before we declared the album finished. I pulled out my guitar and wrote the song very quickly outside. And the fact that she's just sitting here really making these bops, boppity bop bops, she's just acting like, I had my guitar, I was in the bathtub, pen and paper, yada, yada, yada. And she's making this. She made Portals in the bathtub. Random house in Hawaii. Like, her mind, she's a genius. He added the urgency and momentum to this song that the subject matter really needed. Blah, 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 blah. Loudly to try to intimidate the other people. Okay. I wrote this one to be about two different conflict styles. One person who yells a bunch of nothing really loudly to try and intimidate, and the other who can calmly and concisely use their words and wit to prove their point. I love that. See, I interpreted it as like the bully and the bullied, or like the hunter and the prey, I guess you could say, or like someone who's just taking the high road when other people are trying to come after them. But it's actually two people of conflict, but just in two different perspectives. That's really cool. I really like the Battle of Larynx. Next, one of my other favorite songs, The Contortionist. I will never forget the feeling and the intense smiles that me and CJ shared while creating this song. Yeah, it's a freaking bop. A true collaborative moment where we both felt the ping of our little antennas, ding ding ding, like a loud phone call firing off. A lot of our process involved making tracks and picking our favorites, then going in the booth and freestyling melodies. Piecing together the best moments, and then I would pace around the pool writing lyrics to fit the cadence of the freestyled melodies. She did not freestyle The Contortionist. It makes sense because she's talking about piecing it together, and the whole like bridge and chorus, there's like that layering, where she's like talking fast and then singing at the same time. It wasn't even intentional. She just pieced it together like that. She created it. Like, obviously my love for Melanie is there, but this video is making my respect. Like, to understand her artistry and see how it's done, I'm like, wow, you are... Whoa, that's crazy. Piecing together the best moments, and then I would pace around the pool writing lyrics to fit the cadence of the freestyled melodies. The unhinged laughs, yeah, towards after the chorus. The unhinged laughs in the chorus are the exact takes for my freestyle. This conflict song is about bending over backwards for someone who doesn't accept you as you are. I also felt like the contortionist was about, like, you kind of saying, I'm done. Like, finally standing up for yourself and having that power and, like, wanting to do that and, like, accepting that stance. Next up, we have Moon Cycle. About your period. Yeah. I wrote this song in the portal room alone over one of the instrumental tracks in the folder that was sent to me. It was a guitar loop by Pearl Lion. On each of my albums, I like to include at least one taboo song about something many people deal with, but no one talks about in music. I wanted to write a fun, lighthearted song about being a person who experiences menstruation. Yeah! How blood represents vitality and life. I wanted the chorus to be pretty and to use analogies for bleeding that were sweet. Juice melting like a raspberry pomegranate, it's so scary. How my aura got him following at my moon cycle, baby. The rumbling sounds that lead into the song are my actual period cramps. Ooh, what? The rumbling sounds that lead into the song are my actual period cramps I recorded on my phone. Wow, that is... Now I have to go re-listen, now that I know that. It's her actual cramps. God, you gotta love and hate your uterus. With the conflict of patriarchal society brainwashing straight cis men to believe they should have any kind of say over other people's bodies, amen, and also the general kind of ick that they get from the discussion of menstruation, stupid, I wanted to make the song extremely uncomfy for them by going on to describe a man who lives for... No, because y'all said I was wrong. I said, was this song about munching when a girl's on her period? And y'all were like, Favour, what are you talking about? She just said it. I wanted to make the song extremely uncomfy for them by going on to describe a man who lives for period sex. Yeah. Moon Cycle is unhinged. Yeah. That is wild. Period sex. Okay. Next, nymphology. I feel like it's nymphology. I think nymphology really does build off of Moon Cycle in the fact that they both kind of criticize men and like people who just, I don't know, don't respect women. She says, I wrote this song with CJ and Nick. See, I told y'all about the weird ass wind. I don't know what's going on. It was really fun. The period gods. Or maybe it's the nymphs. I don't know. Leave my house alone though. I wanted to be bratty and a commentary piece on the box. A lot of men put femme presenting people in when they call us names like manic pixie dream girl, being forced to play the role of mom and healer while they gaslight you and call you crazy the minute you communicate how you feel. True. And the ending interlude of this song is actually called Amulet. My partner Verde was cleaning out his computer and an instrumental randomly started playing and my ears perked up. It was a track he had produced years ago that was just sitting there collecting digital dust. I immediately wrote over it, but writing a full song for it was difficult. I gotta hear it again what the outro was, because I remember there was an outro that I was like, is this the one that you like Vogue to? And then I said she needed to like make a whole song with that beat, but she just explained it. It wasn't long enough and it was hard to write a song for. But I think if Nymphology the outro is the one that I was like, oh, voguing to, makes sense. Amulet. I immediately wrote over it, but writing a full song for it was difficult. I loved it so much and had no idea what to do with it. One day in the studio, I randomly was like, maybe Amulet can be an interlude after a song. And as fate had it, the very last note of Nymphology is the very first note of Amulet, a perfect puzzle piece. Nice. Next we have Evil, my favorite of the conflict songs. This is giving like Greek mythology. The way that she calls it conflict songs, love songs, like each song is its own genre. It's interesting. CJ laid down guitar and looped it. I paced around the pool and wrote the lyric. And I also like how she uses her house as like inspiration for her art. Like the heart-shaped pool, the portals room. That's really cool. And melody around 30 minutes. Flowed really easily and effortlessly. I think it's because I just had a mental turning point where I was finally able to articulate perfectly what I had dealt with in my last relationship. I wanted the lyrics to be the most savage and most cunty. Yeah, and you get that with that rock vibe of Evil. Every time I wrote something, I was like, no, it's not mean enough. No, it's not mean enough. I thought she would have said that about Moon Cycle. LOL. Cunty. It's not mean enough. It's about dealing with a narcissist. This is a reoccurring theme. Who ironically calls you evil just because you're able to see through their bullshit. It said, if you bite my hand, I won't feed you. Guess that makes me conceited or something like that. I get it. I spent the entire day blowing out my vocals recording it. It was definitely the most challenging song to sing. Okay, that makes me appreciate Evil even more. I mean, like, very soiree, it has that salsa vibe. Evil has this very rock side. I feel like she's jumping into different genres, and that, like, I appreciate it. I like seeing that she wants to change it up, but they all have, like, a deep meaning at the same time. But for the last track, we have Womb. Also, if you made it this far into the video, comment, Favour, I'm in your womb. I know it's weird, but just comment it. Anyway, I knew I wanted the album to end on the title Womb, because again, it starts with death, ends with womb. Conundrum. This was one of the earliest songs written in 2020. We just got the K through 12 movie. Was that 2021? So she's been sitting on Womb for a while. Had a session one day with Omer Fedi as part of a week of sessions I had with different people. Omer started playing these guitar chords that were so beautiful, I asked him to play it on loop while I stared at the corner of the room, quickly writing lyrics. CJ and Rise, da-da-da-da-da. The song was written from the perspective of entering a new lifetime. I said it sounds like a coming of age song, or like Melanie's taking a leap of faith and is optimistic about the future or something, or a transition period. The feeling of nerves and excitement that arise when you're about to forget everything you know about your true self, as a soul, in order to let your human experience on Earth move your progression forward. Okay, so what I was thinking, just, it's more spiritual than I had thought originally. Interesting. Okay, it's nice to know, like, or get a better understanding of the meaning behind the songs, and I feel like I interpreted them fairly decently. But y'all let me know your thoughts. Bye!